All right, here's the Nikon D3500 camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through some of the features on this camera. This is the off and on switch. This is the shutter button. If you press halfway down, this is focusing. All the way down will then take a picture. This is the record button if you want to take a video. This is the exposure compensation, but to actually change your aperture, you're going to go ahead and depress this button and at the same time rotate this dial. So to change the aperture, again, you press this little button and at the same time rotate this dial, and that's how you change the aperture. This by itself just changes the shutter speed. These are your different settings. This year we are not going to use any of these auto feature settings right here because they're just not great quality images, but you can see this is automatic setting, this is no flash, this is portrait mode, this is sports mode, fast shutter speeds, this is close-up macro mode, this is night portrait photography without a flash, and this is learning a little bit about different effects that you're going to be doing in Photoshop anyways. So all of these settings really are not advisable. Instead, I want you to use these three settings. M is for manual. That means you set the aperture and the shutter speed. A is aperture priority mode. That means that you set the aperture. The camera then chooses the shutter speed based on your lighting conditions. S is for shutter speed priority mode, which means you set the shutter and the camera will set the aperture for you. And P is also kind of like a glorified auto setting. It's called program mode. I don't love it. It doesn't take great pictures either. So again, the three settings you're going to use is M for manual, A for aperture priority, S for shutter speed priority. When you turn your camera over here, you get this little dial right here that has a plus and a minus on it that you can see. This is for changing the viewer, so you can not have to wear glasses. It's mostly guided for nearsighted and farsighted people. If you have an astigmatism, it might not work as effectively. So again, this doesn't deal with the focus, it's just dealing with changing the focus within the viewer so that you can see better without having to wear glasses. This is opening up your your flash. So when I turn my camera on, I'm gonna go ahead and unlock my lens. To unlock my lens, and when I have my on setting, I can go ahead and push this button. This pops open my flash. Over here is your info screen, so you can actually see what your shutter speed and aperture setting is at and your ISO, and we'll go over all this stuff in class next week. This is the playback menu so that you can go back and check to see what pictures you've taken. Notice that I don't have any pictures taken yet, so it's not gonna show that up. This is my menu, so I can go back in between different settings. Again, we'll go over this next week. This is another shortcut to my info screen, so I can go info here or I can go info here. This is my command dial, so I can go back and forth in different areas when I have my menu set up. So you can see this is going over, down, up, and then over to the left into these settings over here. This is the zoom button and the go back button for zooming in on your pictures when you have photos. This is your self timer and your continuous mode. So if you want to take a burst of pictures, you can see when I press on this, I go over to continuous mode. And now if I hold my shutter button down, it will take multiple bursts of pictures at a time. I don't have a memory card in here, so that's why it's not taking pictures. And then this button is to delete pictures if there's a photo that I didn't want. Okay, so this is just a quick overview of your camera. To unlock your camera, see how my lens is locked right here? And if I try to take pictures, it says before taking photos, rotate the zoom ring to extend the lens. That means that I have to push this button down and turn and then let go. And now my zoom, turn and let go. And now my zoom is now not locked. So you can see I can go in, I can go out, but before I finish taking pictures, I need to rotate my lens all the way back in and lock it so that it doesn't continue to go back and forth, okay? So every time you take a picture, you need to make sure, after turning off your camera, I should say, you need to make sure you unlock your lens like so, and now you're able to zoom in and zoom out, take a bunch of pictures. When you're done, lock your lens up, lock it in place, and then place it back in your camera bag. Always make sure to turn off your camera so you don't drain your battery and you have it ready for the next time you take pictures.